Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Thank you, everybody, for tuning into us here on Speaking of the Devils. I'm your host, Ryan Novozinsky, joining you as always from the Prudential Center Media Room, the site of the New Jersey Devils' 3-2 overtime victory over the Seattle Kraken tonight. Devils improved to 23-21-2 on the season, and they beat a Seattle team that honestly has a better record than I remember them having. But I can't talk about any of this till I know that we are live. So somebody let me know in the comment section below if we are, and we will get started. I have to say a couple things before we get to Newspine. We're going to get to Newspine. I just have to say, I don't know if this is true or not. Probably not. But Devils PR. I was watching during the press conference. They had Nick Blackman of Devils PR. He was bringing in this handful of Chick-fil-A sandwiches here. And then the head PR guy, Pete, he said that this is courtesy of Sheldon Keefe here. So I'm going to eat this live on camera right now. I muted the mic for people who are sensitive to that kind of thing. But yeah, basically, good vibe day for the Devils, I feel like. Look, the day starts with that Fitzgerald press conference. Oh, screw this. I'll get to this after I read the live read, and then we'll get into the tangent about an interesting day here at Prudential Center. Thank you to our friends at Newspine for sponsoring us here on Speaking of the Devils. With 7 locations, they are New Jersey's leading institute for minimally invasive spine surgery. Live your best life pain-free. Visit newspine.com. That's nu-spine.com to find a location near you. Okay, so interesting day here at the Prudential Center, right? It starts off with the Fitz presser that obviously caught all of you off guard, and once again, the simple fact is, the press conference was embargoed. Like, the announcement of the press conference was embargoed, so that's the reason why you didn't exactly hear about it until it actually happened. But that's what happened. And I thought Fitz, he took some accountability. He took some, he faced the noise. You had to give him credit for that. I give credit to this small but mighty Devils media group too, because I think we got him pretty good at too. And we definitely made him face all of the stuff that he needed to be accounted for or accountable for. So you had that happen, right? And you're coming into tonight's game, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be the Fire Fitz chance, right? They're going to do it from puck drop, and vibes are just not going to be good. But then something interesting happens. The Devils just grab momentum. 54 seconds into the night, Cody Glass scores. It's the fastest first goal for the Devils this year. That's according to MSG. Cody Glass cleans up a nice rebound there from who else but Dougie Hamilton, who shot it. He shot it from the point, and then Cody Glass cleaned it up in front. Grubauer left him wide the hell open. And it was nice to see Cody Glass. I think it was right after the faceoff. Like, he muscled his way inside too, got firm position there, it's great to see Cody Glass get. He's got 3 goals in as many games now. But I feel like the highlight guy you got to talk about here is Dougie Hamilton. Another primary assist for Dougie Hamilton here. 3 primary assists in 2 games for Dougie. First time this season, he's had 3 consecutive games with points. I think Todd Cordell pointed that out on Twitter. So I want to give him credit for that. He nearly had another goal or an assist a few minutes later. I think it was like 3 minutes later. Gritz nearly cleaned up his rebound. Dougie's been on fire since this benching, to the point where I don't want to overreact about it, but do you start to wonder, like, do you keep Dougie? I think right now you're almost past kind of the point of no return, where it's like you're negotiating publicly, you're benching him for what everybody thought was, even his agent thought was business related reasons. So it'll be interesting to see what resolution they get there, but. He's certainly playing his way, if not to continue to stay on the team. He's hiking his value up like crazy. So either or is a win-win for the Devils. I start wondering, look, Dougie Hamilton has not played like a number 1 defenseman this year, but if he continues to play like this, and this really ends up being kind of a spark plug for him, the benching, does he resurrect this, what was a lull in his career? Again, 3 primary assists in as many games, in 2 games. And I believe he was at, the top of the nerd charts here. I'm going to pull these up right here. This is per hockey stat cards. I'm just going to screen share these right quick. How's it going, guys? How's it going? No, you guys are good. Come on in. Come on in. We're good. We're just live. It's all good, guys. But yeah, if you can see here on the little breakdown here, this is again per hockey stat cards. You'll see that Dougie topped the charts for the defenseman. Luke Hughes was close to there as well. He's a guy that I think has stepped up in the past couple of games as well. He's playing just excellent hockey the past couple of games. Siegenthaler had a few couple moments tonight as well. There was a big push for offense when you had Dougie and Nemitz on the ice together. Jack Hughes looks like he's back too, playing great hockey. Obviously, you want to see him score a little bit more. I don't think he's scored in it's like 10, going on like 10 games now. So look, all of this is to say maybe these guys aren't completely back, but it's good to see that there's a pulse after what was looked like a complete download, and that goes for the whole team too. All right, goal by goal, Adam Larsson scores again, or Adam Larsson ties it up. Of course, it was a former Devil, right? Markstrom has to save that one. He wasn't screened. Shot was above the dots. Fitzgerald said today that Markstrom gives them a chance in any game on any given night. Goals against like this doesn't exactly inspire confidence towards that quote, right? Let's see. And then Nico Hischier. I mean, Nico Hischier tonight, talk about a guy that willed his team to victory, right? That's the play that you got from Nico tonight, right? Great, good to see the first power play unit get a goal. Jack, on both Nico goals, Jack showing off just some really elite vision. He wires the puck to Nico behind him and cross ice, and Nico scores from above the circles. I think it was Keith that said after the game, I kind of paraphrasing, I can't remember his exact quote, but he just talked about like that was almost like an angry goal, right? Like that was almost like a F it kind of goal. Like I'm F it, I'm scoring here. So look, that's good to see that you get some emotion there from Nico. You get and you get him definitely willing his team to a victory. Then Jared McCann scores, bounced a rebound in. Markstrom got to be better here too. Just awful rebound control and Markstrom, I think overall had a fine game. I mean, look, you can look at their numbers. I think they were in the positive. Almost won 0.85 above expected. But look, it's just the soft goals against like that and the pitiful rebound control. You just I don't know, like you don't want to see that kind of happening. Especially from a goalie like him who's been incredibly streaky. Third period. I thought it started sloppy for the Devils. They pushed for offense like crazy at the end. Nemitz and Hamilton, that's when they were on. Got a couple of chances, but obviously ultimately went to overtime. In overtime, Timo Meier saves a huge bad bounce from Seattle to keep the game alive. And then, as I mentioned before, Nico wills his way to victory. Nice lead pass there from Jack. Jack looked great. Top the stat charts. I thought just good vibes are all around for like in a day that started with some like just some nonsense there at the beginning where you're wondering how this is going to trend for the Devils, not only because of their ugly road trip, but because of Fitzgerald at times verbally twisting himself into a pretzel this morning. It was good to see the team winning cures all. Winning cures all. Okay, we said it before. We'll say it again. I didn't 100% know how accurate that would be with this season. But I decided to trust the process a little bit. And if the Devils get more good vibe wins like this, then you can certainly turn the season around, right? Because I think tonight was just, you hear the pop of the crowd, you hear the overtime winner, and it's just, I think that this was a good day for the New Jersey Devils. But I digress. And look, it's a good day for the New Jersey. I mean, I'm going downstairs at intermission. I met a couple fans. I met this fan, Haley. She said that she is converting from being a Rangers fan to a Devils fan, okay? Just because of the vibes of tonight alone. So you like to see that. I mean, when everybody's given up on the Devils organization, some people are not. Okay, let's go into and jump into your wonderful comments. Okay. We start here with Mike Bond 33. Sending support, big day today. Thanks for being a voice for the fans. Mike, thank you for supporting the channel on that level. I sincerely appreciate that. Again, like with the, with just asking questions like that, I understand. Like, I always say like this, like, I understand that, like, if even I'm frustrated from like the lack of accountability, lack of question, and everything like that, I couldn't even imagine like how fans must feel about this stuff. So like I try to put myself like not fully in your guys' shoes because I think that would come across as bias, but like I definitely empathize and sympathize with the the plight of wanting the truth, and that's why I just push for the truth for sure. And I thought I thought the entire Devils press corps did just a baller job today. Great job from the Devils press corps. Bokers just sends $4.99 to be supportive. Thank you, Bokers. And if you have another question, Bokers, please feel free to submit. Let's see. Sonic9123. What do you do with Dougie? Healthy scratch still or keep playing and risk injury? Daniel Amoya of the Hockey Writers, I thought, asked the question of the press conference today, and he asked, what do you do with Dougie on Saturday, right? What do you do with Dougie on Saturday? Question. I mean, the answer that Sheldon had is just, I don't quite know. Like he said excellent question. We'll have to see how Kovacevic is feeling, everything like that. I think you just ride the hot hand. You need these wins. So until he proves otherwise, like until he proves that you should be out of the lineup, keep him in the lineup. And I missed 2 super chats, so I'm going to get back to those guys in a second. And you're right, like the injury risk is definitely worth considering here. But look, in a league where it's so tight and you're you're just itching to get all these victories here and there, and they're tough to come by, but you need them to get a leg up in the standings. I think you keep him in the lineup, right? I don't see how you could take him out. Tough decision coming up for Sheldon Keefe, and it'll be widely scrutinized or widely praised if he, depending on how he handles it. Zach Chin, question of the day in the comments, and I'm getting back to the super chats that I missed. Sorry, the streaming software I'm on kind of hid them for a second. Question of the day in the comments, and Zach's question of the day. Question of the day: we got the Fitz presser, but what was it you were hoping for? Additionally, what was a question you thought of after the fact that you should have asked? Great questions here, Zach. Because I have answers to both of these. One, it was what I was hoping for. Actually, it was like I was nervous at first because the way that they kind of framed this, it made it sound like this was, I thought when they tell us that it's going to be a round table, which is what they told me the other day or yesterday, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like a cameras off situation, microphones on, because that's like at Giants sometimes the general manager, Joe Shane, he's done press conferences like that where it's just recorders and it's just print media, everything like that. Well, today was a little different, and the camera was on. I kind of like the format where we weren't playing the microphone past the microphone game. You could ask follow-up questions. I think it led to some good, candid questions from reporters. Whether the answers themselves were candid from Fitz is remains to be seen. But I do credit him for facing the noise. I wish it came earlier because I feel like you have Sheldon and your players that are facing this every day. When things are spiraling into disaster like that, then maybe you should try to face the noise a little bit earlier. But that's just me. But I'm glad he did it. I mean, again, it is what I was hoping for. And to answer your question, what was a question that you thought of after the fact? There was so much of my docket that I completely missed, and I'm kicking myself. Fitzgerald said there that the reason that he couldn't trade for Quinn was not because of clearing cap space. The obvious follow-up that I freaking missed, and the disgusting, deplorable slipping Jimmy Nichols missed too, and the woeful Daniel Amoya missed as well, was, okay, if clearing cap space wasn't the issue, then why didn't you trade for him? I'm sure the answer would have been, predictable. Like, oh, the return was so crazy. But come on, like you have some horses here too. So yeah, that was definitely kicking myself after that one. But great questions, Zach. I appreciate that. Steve KS says, great job questioning Fitz early and often at the presser this morning, Ryan. Hashtag Fitz is in over his head. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for supporting the channel at that level, my friend. Yeah, it was, again, I thought the entire press contingent here, we're a small group, but I think we're a mighty group. And I think we get a bad rap, and not necessarily a bad rap, but like we get the rap of, oh, like, why didn't you guys ask this, or oh, the New Jersey media market like keeps gonna thrive there because you guys, it's so small. I think we asked the right questions at the right times. All right, moving on. Endless Abe says hashtag free Nico Dawes. Okay. Look, my overarching thoughts on Nico Dawes are, I think he deserves more of a shot at the NHL level. I think that, again, like I asked Fitz this morning, like what if Markstrom continues to kind of sputter here and spiral? Obviously, I thought tonight he was fine, aside from 2 ugly goals against, but he gets a win, and he's in the positive, goal save above expected wise. Look, you're probably going to lose Nico Dawes, and you just better hope and pray that this isn't one of those classic devil situations where he winds up thriving when he puts on a different sweater. Let's move on. Rick Roma, I don't like Harrison Blitzer. The fish stinks from the head down. Fire Fitz. Luke responded to the booze by playing much better lately. Sorry, it's just some jostling at the door. Oh, you're good, man. No, all good. I don't like Harris Blitzer. Fish sticks for the head down. Fire Fitz. Luke responded to the booze by playing much better lately. Hashtag Roma thoughts. Agreed on the last point. Don't blame you for the first couple of points. Because look, when the team is slumping like they have, and they have been for a while now, and you can't even use the injuries as an excuse now. The obvious people you're going to look at is ownership and the GM, right? And that's why I've been, pushing the Fire Fitz agenda in the way that I have, because I just feel like we're at a point where he's stopped being an advantage for this team. We're at a point where he is now a disadvantage for this team because of the prior mistakes and the fact that he's not able to dig himself out of the hole that he's created. So, look, don't blame fans for having that sentiment. And Rick, thank you so much for supporting the channel on the level. Very much appreciate that. Mike Bond 33 again. Do you think Fitz knows that we know that he was flat out lying about the no move clause / no trade clause interfering with the Quinn Hughes trade talks? He probably does. A lot of these press conferences are kind of just a what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like an on the surface, like a very surface level. There's not many serious things you could take out of him. I mean, there's serious things you could take out of him, especially when a guy is peppered with questions the way that Fitz was today. But I don't know. I mean, look, like I bet you Fitz does know, and I bet you, look, he's prepared by give Pete Albeats credit. I mean, Pete Albeats is great at what he does, and he's good at preparing the guys. For that's part of his job. And that's the head of PR for the Devils. I think that Fitz was well prepared today. He gave some meaty answers there, and he gave some where it's like, okay, you're kind of deflecting a little bit, but that's part of the game, right? That's why we try to poke and prod and see if we can get any sort of truth out of him. And I thought we got a good mix of truth and a good mix of lies today. And the lies would certainly fit with that no move clause / no trade clause category. Let's see. Captain THC, did you live at the Rock all day today? For the most part, here's how the day went. Okay, got here at 8:30. Waited in my car for a little bit for Slippin' Jimmy and Disgusting Danny to show up. We went into the presser. It was great. I thought that we, again, local press corps did a good job. And then afterwards we did our work, went on stream. We went to Hobby's Deli, had some good conversations there with the boys. Had some great meals. I ordered the Chico. And then me, Jimmy, and Danny, we went to we still had hours to kill before puck drop. We went to the American Dream Mall. So that's didn't quite live at the Prudential Center all day, but yeah. Captain THC, well, congrats, Ryan. You finally got your wish and talked to your boy Fitz. Was it everything you dreamed of? Can you finally put your Fitz boner away and report more about a more positive subject now? Wow, Captain THC coming at me. Understood. I'll face the noise. If Fitzgerald's going to face the noise, I'll face it too. Look, I think that the reason that I pushed for it, and I'm not the only one, the team was struggling. And these other guys, the players and the coach is facing the noise every day. And this guy, not only was he hiding and ducking from us, he was doing so in a fashion of like he was, talking to the national guys when the team was on an 8-game win streak. So, yeah. All right, Bokers sent this super chat before, but I'm just going to say this. After his super chat, he just wrote balls in all caps, balls. Captain THC, he bought you a sandwich. Give the man some love again. I haven't been torching Keith necessarily. I've been defending Keith a good bit. Can I take another bite of this sandwich? Can I put the mic on mute? That is so good. That is so good. Still fresh. Gotta love some Chick-fil-A. But yeah, I think I've praised Keith enough. I think that it'd be a mistake to move on from him and let Fitz have that scapegoat because I think most of the problems are in Fitz. Patrick Booth, Luke Hughes has 0 own goals since we booed him last week. Just saying, it worked. Sure, there you go. Advanced stats for Patrick Booth. Brad Hughes, Dougie was the first guy off the ice after that win. Was that from the shove? So interesting thing about the shove, okay? James Nichols requested Dougie after the game for us to speak to him about not only the shove, but like a bunch of this other topics. And then he asked the PR guy if we can get a comment from him. So James Nichols got this comment, and basically Dougie's like about the Grubauer situation, and Dougie's comment was, I don't know, like I don't know why he pushed me, and it kind of like came out of nowhere. So I mean, Dougie's not really the most vocal guy in interviews and stuff like that, so you weren't really expecting too much, but that's Dougie's perspective on it. If you guys were curious about that. Sonic said, "We're here to keep watching you eat. Keep it going, Novo." There you go. Yeah, I got to eat on stream more. Stanley says, "Seattle surprised me. They didn't have a high volume of shots, but they moved the puck up the ice well. Devils had to work for this win." That's exactly what Sheldon Keefe said after the game. So good analysis by you, Stanley. Sheldon said that the pre-scout on this team was that they're going to make you work for this, right? Like they're not a pushover team. They were at the beginning of the year, but I think they've turned it around a little bit. They're a tough team to play against. Definitely, they surprised me a little bit too. I like that Seattle team. They're a little better. Actually, like I'm kind of pissed, like how I'm kind of pissed how good their record is, because I think the Devils would be keen on poaching some of the guys from their lineup. I'm gonna take a couple more just because I really have been here like all day. Mike Bond, shout out all the Gritsuk, Arseny Gritsuk believers. Yes, for sure. Another great game from Gritsuk, and I had that tweet earlier in the night. It was my first tweet of the night, I think. These fans had a sign that read, "I just hope Arseny Gritsuk has fun." That is amazing. That is amazing. Let's see. And we'll finish off here with Rick Roma, who just says, "Fitz is working the phones." He said that in his presser this morning. Again, whether we are to believe that or not, I know that is the truth. He's definitely working the phones. Fact of the matter is, you got to have results, Tom. You got to have results. So, until there are results, and he said, you might not be able to trade your way out of this. This team might just go on a run, and maybe that ends up, saving his job and ends up, like reviving this season. Maybe they do go on a run. They're on a 2-game win streak right now. That's at least something, right? But it's what you do when you're on this run that will separate you from the pack in terms of the rest of your fellow GMs, right? Can you go on a run and then address the holes and surge your team in that way? Surge your team along with the run. Let's see if Tom Fitzgerald can rise to that occasion. Guys, that'll do it for today's show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us here on both streams of Speaking of the Devils. Thank you to our super chatters. Thank you to Deucepine. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. For Ryan Novozinsky, I'm signing off. I'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye.